Well, all right, welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world-famous As It Should Be studios. And, well, today I'm doing another track versus track. And, well, I'm going to be doing two AC/DC albums. I'm going to be doing two Australian AC/DC albums, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Their second album from 1975, TNT, which is basically, you know, the rest of the world got it as High Voltage. High Voltage back there, that's their 1974 album. The original Australian one, an entirely different album. Everybody else knows High Voltage basically as this album. It's a little bit different, but basically this album. And, well, that's going against 1976's Dirty Deeds. Also, very different version of the album. Now, I'm putting these two together, well, two reasons. One, I don't have that many of my AC/DC records here. Basically, these three Australian AC/DC albums it's the only AC/DC vinyl I actually have here in the world famous As It Should Be studios. All my other AC/DC albums are in the world famous As It Should Be archives. And these two have the same number of tracks. So yeah, so there you go. That's why these are going up against one another. And I didn't know about AC/DC Australian imports until probably when Flick of the Switch came out. 1983, Flick of the Switch is out. I had no idea that records like this existed. I just knew the AC/DC albums that we had here. You know, we had Highway to Hell, we had the International High Voltage, we had Dirty Deeds, I believe yes, we had Dirty Deeds by that point, Powerage, you know, all that stuff. My friend Brent, shout out to my best friend Brent, I've known him since I was 13. He arrived on the scene when I was 13 and basically hipped us all to the existence. Like, he brought the word, he brought the news of the existence of Australian AC/DC imports. He had this album, and in fact, this is the exact copy that he brought to school one day and pulled out of his locker and said, boom, check this out, and we were all like, yeah. And, yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that really, really kind of exploded my AC/DC fandom, because this was just such an exotic record. Like, whoa, I've never seen anything like, I've never seen this before. Whoa, I've never heard of these songs. Rock in Peace? Jailbreak? What are these? And yeah, so anyway, I'm going on too long about it, but I kind of wanted to give my little history of these albums and learning of the existence of Australian imports. But all that said, I mean, these are the proper, original, real versions of the albums, so that's another good reason to do them this way. Now let's get started. Okay, so what we have here, we have TNT versus Dirty Deeds. Okay, so they each have 9 tracks, and I have, as per usual, I have ranked the tracks, so I'm putting them up against the order that I'm putting up. Take 2. The order in which they will be going up against one another is the order that I ranked them in. And, alright, so starting with number 9, what I put at number 9 on the TNT album is actually the one song that you wouldn't know if you didn't have, I believe, it wasn't on 74 Jailbreak, I don't think. Well, yeah, if you don't have the TNT album, if you just grew up in the US and had the US versions of the albums, this is the one track in this album you wouldn't have had. School Days, yeah, Chuck Berry cover. And at the time when we first got our hands on these records and got TNT, it was really novel to hear this track, because it was like, whoa, a Bon Scott track that we've never heard. Oh my god! So we really liked the track, just because it was sort of uncharted Bon Scott territory. But, you know, the dust has long since settled, and it's not a bad track, but I don't love it. I have it at number 10. Or at number 9, sorry. And that goes against what I have at number 9 on Dirty Deeds, a track that I loved so much when I was, 12, 13 years old, 11, 12, 13, because that's exactly the age where you would love a song like this. It hasn't aged that well. It's not bad, but it's at number 9. Big Balls. Yeah, I mean, when you're a 12-year-old kid and you're in junior high, yeah, Big Balls is pretty amazing. But, yeah. It's a bit played out now. So I have it at number 9. But anyway, so Big Balls versus School Days. Which one do I prefer? Well, I may be well sick of Big Balls, but you know what? I'm giving it to that. School Days, again, it's not bad. It's just very much like it comes off very B-side-ish, like it should be the B-side of a single. Dirty Deeds at least has that clever Bon Scott wordplay. Yeah, all right. So I'll give it to that, and I'll give it to that on behalf of 12-year-old me. But anyways, coming number 8 on TNT, the Jack. Yeah, I have the Jack all the way down number 8. Everybody loves the Jack, and the Jack's great. But there's 7 more that I like more. 7 other songs that I like more. Yeah, anyway, the Jack. And that goes up against what I have at number 8 on Dirty Deeds, which is Ain't No Fun Waiting Around to Be a Millionaire. Now, that one I've never loved. That's never been a favorite on this album. It's way too long, and I feel like it kind of just like plods along and doesn't really change. And yeah, I don't know. It just needs maybe a B section in there. So it's like something. It needs something in there. It's just, it does have great lyrics, but maybe cut the song in half or add some other meat to it. I don't know. I just never really loved this song that much, and it's track number 2 on this version of the album. On the international version, it's track 2 on side 2, so they put it a little deeper in the album. If you're not going to cut the song off outright, then I guess putting it a little deeper is the way to go. Having it as the second song on the album, not ideal in my opinion. I'm going to have AC/DC fans coming in and going, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're not an AC/DC fan." Shut up. Anyway, what are you, 5? But yeah. Anyway, it's not a bad song. It sounds like I'm really talking shit about it. It's not a bad song. It's not a favorite. Okay? Alright, so Ain't No Fun Waiting Around to Be a Millionaire. Against the Jack. Oh, that's actually kind of tough, though. For all the shit I just talked about Ain't No Fun, I'm giving it to that. I mean, I like both these songs, okay? I don't dislike either of them at all. We're just talking, I'm speaking in relative terms. I've never loved this song compared to all these other songs. And, yeah, so Ain't No Fun gets it. Now, I think back in the day, if you talked to me, back when I was 12, 13, I definitely would have given it to the Jack, but not no mo. All right, so coming number 7 on TNT, High Voltage. Yeah, this is one of those albums. Sometimes people like Robert Fithen, he talks about this sometimes. It was on the Gunkles. The Gunkles were talking about it, featuring Robert Fithen, where you have albums that have the title track of another album, right? Their first album was High Voltage, but on their second album, TNT, that's where they have the song High Voltage. Of course, on the international version of High Voltage, if you're anywhere else, if you're in the US here, you have High Voltage on High Voltage. But the proper albums, High Voltage is on TNT, not on High Voltage. Things are a mess. Okay. But I have that going against what I have at number 7 on Dirty Deeds, which is there's going to be some rockin'. Yeah, there's going to be some rockin'. Now, I always really liked this one. I really loved this one back in the day. I don't love it as much as I used to, but that's not. But I still really like it. It just kind of went down below some songs that I probably preferred it over back in the day. But I'm going with High Voltage over that. Yeah. High Voltage from TNT. So TNT's on the map. Okay. All right. So coming number 6 on TNT, I have Rocker. I'm a rocker. I'm a roller. I'm a right out of controller. Come on, that alone. I should have ranked it higher just for that line alone. But, man, a stone classic. And that goes up against number 6 on Dirty Deeds, or what I put at number 6, which is R.I.P. Rockin' Peace. Oh, this is one of those exotic tracks that when Brent brought that import, and it was like, oh my god. Now, I was talking about how School Days was like, oh my god, a Bon Scott track we'd never heard. Well, this was an actual AC/DC original with Bon Scott that we'd never heard. Our minds were blown. And I've always loved the track. It's very similar to There's Gonna Be Some Rockin'. You know, that sort of standard early AC/DC fare, but I love it. But man, it's no match for Rocker. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, Rocker all day, every day. Not even a contest. Okay, so coming number 5 on TNT is Can I Sit Next to You Girl? The remake. Yeah, because AC/DC had a singer before they had Bon Scott. They had a guy named Dave Evans, and they have a single with him doing "Can I Sit Next to You, Girl." Yeah, you look at the writing credits for that. It's not Young and Scott. It's just Young. Yeah, just Angus and Malcolm wrote that, and that goes up against what I have at number 5 on Dirty Deeds, which is Squealer. Yeah. And Squealer, I believe, is the opening track on side 2 in this version. It's the closing track on the international version, but yeah. Opening track on side 2 for this version. And, ooh, this is hard. Squealer versus Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? Nah, I gotta go Squealer. Yeah, Squealer over Can I Sit Next to You, Girl, but not by a lot. Okay. Alright, so coming in number 4 on TNT, I have Livewire. Ooh. A song that they were forever opening their shows with, and that's the closing track on side 1 on all versions, on the international version and on TNT. And that goes against what I have at number 4 on Dirty Deeds, which is Ride On. Yeah. I mean, the Stairway to Heaven of Bon Scott, the Freebird of Bon Scott, Ride On. Oh man, but what do I choose between these two? Ooh, Livewire versus Ride On. Oh man, that's really rough. I think a lot of people would choose Ride On. I still don't know what I'm choosing. Oh. Ooh, man, this is close. This is close. You're yelling at the screen right now. Your choice. You're yelling which one I should be choosing. But I can't hear you. I'm gonna go Livewire. Yeah, I know. So people are like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I'm gonna go Livewire, but just barely. I mean, so barely. And that's also, I should also say this. That's just at this moment in time. If I were to do this maybe a half an hour from now, I might choose Ride On. So, at this exact moment in time, I'm gonna go with Livewire. Okay. Alright, so coming in number 3 on TNT is the title track, TNT. And, well, that is going to go up against what I have at number 3 on Dirty Deeds, which is Jailbreak. Ooh. Oh, man. Again, talk about a song that blew our minds when we heard it for the first time, because we didn't have that song. And, man, what a song not to have. How could we possibly have had to wait as long as we did here in the U.S., and I think maybe in other countries as well, outside of Australia, to get Jailbreak? You kidding me? Okay, now here's the question I have. In 81, we didn't have Dirty Deeds here in the U.S. until 81. The U.S. label chose not to put that out. It wasn't until after Bon Scott died and then Back in Black exploded that they went, oh, we have this whole other unreleased album. Well, here, let's make some money, and they put it out. And it had Problem Child on it, as Dirty Deeds did, but we already had Problem Child on Let There Be Rock, right? Why didn't they put Jailbreak on it? I think they probably just didn't put any time or care into it. They just threw the album out as is. But anyway, all that babble. Jailbreak versus TNT. I choose Jailbreak. Yeah, I choose Jailbreak. And I tell you what, I didn't sit here and hem and haw about it, but I will tell you, it is very, very close. Because, I mean, come on, TNT. But you know what? I am definitely giving that to Jailbreak. Okay. So coming number 2 on TNT, The Rock and Roll Singer. Ooh, man. Woohoo! Going against what I have at number 2 on Dirty Deeds, which is Problem Child, which I just mentioned. Oh, wow. Okay, now we're getting some really, really treacherous territory. Problem Child versus Rock and Roll Singer. Woo! I'm just realizing this is a little easier than I thought, and probably a little easier than it should be. But I'm going Problem Child. Yeah, I gotta go with Problem. I have to. I have to go with Problem Child. But fuck, man, the rock and roll singer. Okay. But coming in number one, my favorite song on TNT. If you're following along, you know what it is. Which one I haven't mentioned yet. It's A Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. I mean, could there be anything more classic on this album? Well, there's a lot of classics on this, so I guess who knows. But that goes with what I have number one on Dirty Deeds, which is the opening track on that album and the title track, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Oh, man. Dirty Deeds versus A Long Way to the Top. Whoa. Woo. Oh, A Long Way to the Top versus Dirty Deeds. Be prepared to watch me stand here for the next 10 minutes and think about this. Wow. I mean, and I've said this on other videos, and it's been the case there, and it is so the case here. This is a tie. This is a tie. But I have to choose. I have to choose. Ooh. God damn. You know, okay, let me no matter which one I choose, it's painful because no matter which one I choose, the other one should have won. And I'm not saying, well, some of you are going to be saying that, oh, the other one should have won. But honestly, I'm saying that to myself. No matter which one I choose, the other one should have won. Because like I said, it's a tie. God, I guess I'm going to go a long way to the top, but oh, damn. Oh. Talk about two songs that are they're downright impossible to choose between. But yeah, I'm going a long way to the top. And what do we have here? Okay, so Dirty Deeds got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and TNT got 4. So Dirty Deeds won. But not by much. Not by much. All right. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you have. And but if you haven't, maybe consider subscribing. If you do, click the little bell for notifications. But do come back this Thursday because Crystal Durant and Tommy Von Voort are going to be back here in the world famous As It Should Be Studios. And I believe if I'm shooting this in advance, so this might be the week. I think this might be possibly the week that we are ranking the Police albums. Yeah, that's right. I do believe we're ranking the Police albums. If not, if I'm wrong, if it turns out that I'm wrong, then, well, this is what we're doing. But, yeah, I think we're ranking the Police albums. But, I don't know. Maybe come back and find out. Come back on Thursday and find out. I don't know. Hopefully I will see you then.